Hello geeks and gamers, Matt Lemke here with Through Gamer Goggles, and today we have another flip through for you. This flip through is the Dropzone Commander rulebook. I know nothing about the game, absolutely nothing. This is right out of the two-player starter from Hawk War Games, and I'm looking at the book. I don't know the rules yet. I won't know the rules for probably a couple of weeks before I write the review, which should be up before Christmas of 2013, just in case you're watching this in January. And be like, wow, it takes you 11 months to get a review done. But the book is pretty heavy duty. Pages are probably, I don't know, they're all glossy, high quality. I don't know about the test, but they're not cheap. The only concern I have about the book is this crease right here for folding the cover. I think maybe after lots of use the cover might fall off, but hopefully they have 1.2 out by then. But we will see. So we're going to take a flip through the book. We're going to try and do this in 8 to 10 minutes. Very first thing you see is a picture of some of their probably favorite vehicles / ships. Background information, game rules, and scenarios. There's about 40 pages of game rules, so the game's a little on the complicated side, I would say. Not too advanced. It's not like, you need physics to play, probably, because there's only about 40 pages of rules, 38-ish, depending on how many pictures there are, too. That makes a big difference. Like I said, I haven't really flipped through the book. I have been a fan of their models since I've seen pictures of them from Game Salute 2 years ago. And this is so glossy, I'm going to have to turn off another light. So hold on just a second. Let's see how much. Oh, that helped a lot. We're going to zoom in and we're going to take a look at the pictures of the models that they've got going on here in their homemade terrain. I love that picture. It just looks like, okay, they're either fighting Godzilla or they're invading that city. Yeah, that's something else. Oh, I like the red, white, and blue effect in the snow. That's really nice. Now, these models are, I believe, a 10 millimeter scale, so the models are pretty small for what they are. And basically, let's see here, zoom out a little bit. We'll zoom in at key points where we need to. There's a good bit of text in the background information of the story, which is what we're flipping through right now. And look at that model. That is awesome. I really love this too, that this ruined ancient city that they have on. Like I said, I don't know anything about the background or anything. I don't know if these are aliens or if these are all on the same planet type of thing. But that ship is just cool. They actually look like they're flying in this picture. That's pretty cool. Now they are flying. Look at that. And then we are into page 14, so we're into the basic rules of the game a little bit. You can see different things. There's building a standard battle group, army rosters on page 16. Look at the detail they painted onto their infantry. These guys aren't really big, by the way. These are blown up pictures, I'm pretty sure, because I looked at the infantry and they don't look that big. And then here's a sample army on page 18. And then there's preparing for battle, which includes the game size, which is anywhere from 500 to 3,000 points. Then it goes through the 6 steps of laying out how to play the scenarios. Deployment, turn sequence, actions and movement, coherency, coherency is important in the game apparently. Shooting. Now, the shooting, most units are equipped with weapons capable of delivering death and destruction. I like that. Right here they have the arcs of fire. And then they have line of sight. So there is a little bit of complexity to the game. There's shot allocation. This is 2 of the infantry bases, and this is 3 tanks. In the diagram here, 3 railgun anti-tank shots allocated vehicles A and B x2. A and B times 2. Oh, A is x1. 3 heavy machine gun shots, each allocated to the infantry base, is D6. Well, D has 6 hits, and E has 3 hits from that particular tank there. And then you have weapon energy, which I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sure what that is, so we're going to move on. I don't want to bore you too much by rambling about things that I don't know about when I have to come back, and I'm going to write the review in just a couple of weeks. This is to let you get an idea of what is in the book, how complicated it is to learn, how many pictures and diagrams they have, things of that nature. Maybe we'll spend a little bit more time when we get into the different armies so that you can get a good idea of what they look like. Here's they have reaction fire in the game. That's a plus for me. And then they have indirect fire weapons. That is a bonus. I like indirect fire a lot. I always have. Different types of weapons. Aircraft rules. There's a few pages of the aircraft rules. There's another good picture of their models. Their book is obviously full of good pictures of their models. And then they have transport rules, which is quite a bit. It looks like there's quite a bit of tactics to this game. Then there's quite a few pages of scenarios, which we're going to flush through. Here's a map that has the different buildings and things on it that you can assemble out of the 2-player starter. Lots of scenarios. Wow. I'm guessing this is a scenario-driven game. And then we have a huge picture on the end of the scenarios, and we have the United Colonies of Mankind. That's what happens when you cover something up. Colonies of Mankind. They kind of look like a United States Marine Corps type of army, at least with the colors. The UCM consists of a series of former frontier planets, so it is multiple planets. And this must be separate planets here. The Big Dozen. Not really sure what the Big Dozen is. It looks like it's supposed to be elements. And then it goes into the government, history, the politics, allies, enemies, military might, the army of the UCMA, the fleet, UCMF, the vehicles, folding weapons. Wow, they have a lot of detail. I can't wait to play the role-playing game. Oh, this is going to be insane. UCM units. There we go. Now we're getting into some good stuff. You have the Albatross, Condor medium drop ship. Look at that. It looks like a Lockheed Martin. Tanks, Rapier, gunship. Stuff's really amazing. Gladius HP. And I believe everything is resin. Look at this. This kind of looks like a weird 4-wheel drive bike. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Look at that ACV. Armored Command Vehicle. Like I said, the infantry aren't that big. That might actually be actual size. And then here's a picture of a UCM battle-sized army, a clash-sized army, and a typical UCM skirmish-sized army. So you have an idea right out of the rule book what models you kind of need to buy and at what scale. And here's some UCM color schemes. They have it's not so much a painting guide, but it's a guide to the colors of their arms. I think I'd go with the block urban, personally. And then you have the Scourge, which they have some of my favorite, it looks like some of my favorite ships in this, and it goes through the same basic thing. It gives you their technology. I'll zoom out just a hair so you can see the whole page. Because their leadership, their occupations, their technology, their overview of the weaponry, infantry, living weapons, and then it goes right into the units again, just like it did in the other one. Just like it did in the other book. Some of these are one of the other reasons why I kind of like this. I think this might be the easiest army to paint. These models aren't the biggest models in the world, so they are kind of tiny. Some of the ships are gonna be pretty big, I'm sure. And of course, they have all the stats with them too. Like, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. And they seem to have this purple theme going on, and then on the back here, they have the same breakdown for a battle-sized army, clash size, and skirmish size, which this is probably the size that we would play at. And then they have the different color schemes, of course, which that's really kind of a cool color scheme. The blue and white is pretty cool. And then we have the Post-Human Republic, which this might be the army of my choice. And again, they have background information, post-humans, the elite armies that they have, breakdown of that, goes into their technology, their weapons, the power plant. Apparently they'll have power plants on them. The game has a tremendous amount of deal. And then they have the different unit types, like heavy dropship, Neptune class, air superiority fighters. Then they have anti-armor walkers, which is one of the reasons why I like the look of this army, is they have walkers. That's just kind of really, I've always liked walkers. I like what they do. And then they have the infantry at the back end. There's a good picture of some of the tanks and things that they have along with their walkers and how to play as a support squad. And again, on the last section right before you get to the color schemes, is they have the three different basic examples of an army. And then they have the color schemes, which on these guys, I actually like the maroon, or the oxide desert, the really red Mars Earth desert kind of color. You know, our depiction of Mars mentally. And then you have the Shaltari tribes, which I really don't know too much about. Well, like I said, I don't really know anything about the game yet. It just goes into the firstborns, background information. Then it starts covering the units. And they look a lot like... oh, they have special rules. They have gates. Look at that. I guess they can fly in and out of them from different locations. They can. That's kind of interesting. Well, that is and then they get into their ships, which that guy looks really cool. The heavy fighter. Wow. There's their War Strider. Kind of looks like a scorpion-like thing. And their firstborns and their braves. Picture. Again, another example of the sample size armies and various color schemes that already exist in their storyline. Of course, these are only suggestions. You don't have to use these. That's really sharp, though. And that's really sharp. I don't know if I could paint to that detail, but that's sharp. And we're almost at the end of the book. Now they get into some featured paint jobs that have been done by various artists like Chris Sullivan, John Hood, Mark Rogers, Samuel Wright, Peter Bell. I've been looking at this, ogling over some of this, and I really don't know which one of these is my favorite. I lean towards that one, but I think I only lean towards that one not because of the model, but because of the diorama and what he did with it. It accents the red and the white very well. And then on the back you have token templates and cutouts for the game, along with the full index. Well, that's the flip through of Dropzone Commander's rule book that comes in the 2-player starter. It's about, I think, 160 pages, 152 pages. It's a pretty heavy book. The front quality is pretty heavy duty. The paper's pretty heavy duty. Again, like I said, the only thing that I'm concerned about is folding this crease too much on the book and it falling off. But, you know, it all depends on how much traveling you do, how much you have to use the rules. We will use the rules a lot because we play a lot of different games. We just can't remember everything until we get around to making some cheat sheets. Thanks for watching. This has been Matt Lemke with Through Gamer Goggles and a flip through. Hope that you enjoyed the presentation. If you did, and you're watching this on our blog, please click on the social media links on the right-hand side of the screen to follow us through your favorite mode of communication. Thank you and have a good day.